Most of the gold I find sniping along the Bear River is about this size of a grain of rice or smaller. I can pick up a respectable amount of these finds, though, in a short amount of time. Oh, as much as a half an ounce in 3 hours. And at $500 per ounce, it's not too bad for wages. This is a portion of a map that I have from 1849. It depicts, in highlighted yellow, the known areas for gold at the time. This piece of gold is about the size of your small fingernail. This size is common to find sniping along the rivers of California. This map was drawn in 1900 and is one of the oldest topographical representations of the Colfax and surrounding areas. There are many town sites located on this map which no longer exist. I have many such maps. This is a 1769 Spanish 2 real, about the size of a 50-cent piece made out of silver. I dredged this in Georgetown one year when I was dredging for gold. Note the hole at the top of the coin. This was used to sew the coin to the inside of a miner's jacket so he wouldn't lose it. This is another example of a common-sized piece of gold that you find sniping. It takes between about 20 and 30 of these to make an ounce. I'm very intrigued with this area of the Bear River. Note the turns in the river and the bedrock. This portion of the Bear River is about 2 miles west of Highway 49. This prospective location is somewhat remote and easy to get to, and it looks quite promising. This piece of gold is larger than the others, about twice the size. It would take about 10 of these to make an ounce. I once picked up 3.5 ounces of nuggets this size in about 20 minutes. The largest was 4 pennyweights, just shy of a quarter ounce. This is a small portion of an extremely detailed map that I have of the gold country, and it was produced in 1849. This is another satellite image. This image is of Oregon Bar on the American River. This area is quite intriguing to me. This portion of the American River is notorious for turning out golf ball size and larger chunks of gold, the largest of which was the size of a football found in 1851. This area of the American River is somewhat remote, but fairly easy to get to. Located about a quarter mile below the new dam, Auburn Dam, this area will not be available for gold mining for much longer. Although I have spent more time mining for gold in the remote wilderness, I find the gold more plentiful in the heavily populated areas. They seem to be more overlooked. More often, these heavily populated areas are at a lower elevation where the gold continues to gather. Panning for gold is a hard way to go. It's good to learn how to pan for gold. You learn a lot of things about gold and where it falls in the river when you learn how to pan. The only time I pan is when I'm panning the concentrates out of my dredge. Sniping is the way you want to go, that's for sure. Even though dredging can produce the best results, the most amount of material moved, the highest yield, sniping still is by far a better way to go. I often get real excited when I see a hole that's been dredged by somebody else. I look in there and pick up the gold that they left behind. This is a picture of me in my full wetsuit with air, a hookah system. It's a lot of gear and a lot of expense, a dredging operation. If you want to find gold, you're going to have to get to bedrock. The easiest gold is where the bedrock's exposed in the middle of the river and the least amount of overburden. A lot of luck is involved. Gold is where you find it. But it helps if the bedrock is jagged and there's lots of crevices that run against the stream. This is one of my favorite little spots to snipe. It's a drainage ditch that runs from Georgetown all the way to the middle fork of the American River in Placerville. A lot of fun here. Okay, this is it. Tools of the trade. This is your sniping gear. Face mask, snorkel, suction bottle, rock hammer, a couple of pry bars. The pry bar on the right was made from a 3/4 ton Ford truck leaf spring. Spring steel. Can't bend that. Works with you when you're prying on a piece of bedrock. The rubber gloves are very important. The bedrock is very jagged and razor sharp. It'll cut you real bad. Adding to the list, more often than not, I wear a full wetsuit. I'm often in the water 6 or 7 hours at a time, and even when it's summertime and 90 degrees out, you can get hypothermia. I bring the shovel along. That's mostly for chasing crawdads away. However, I use it to move the overburden off the top of the bedrock to get down to the cracks where most of the gold is. You want to keep your eyes peeled though for those chunks of quartz that could sit on the top and be laced with gold. I do see those every now and then. The gold really catches your eye though in the sunlight. When you start finding old pieces of lead, buckshot, bullets, and lead weights, you know the gold is really close by. Square nails are a good sign. I always find good gold and big nuggets when I'm finding square nails and spikes. Keep your eyes out for the signs. I always get real excited when I see the signs. Compacted gravel, rust, nails, bullets. I always know I'm going to get good gold when I see that. There's a lot of mercury in the river, left over by the miners. Mercury will cover gold on a molecular level and make it just as shiny or a different color, several different colors, but mostly it'll be pure shiny silver, a nugget, and it might fool you. So anything you question, you save. You can always burn it in some nitric acid, and if it turns bright yellow and doesn't burn away, then it's gold. I once got fooled a few times in the beginning. Some old miner was teaching me, took all my mercury nuggets. Kind of was laughing at me behind his back too, I know he was. I don't want that to happen to you. If you are burning gold and nitric acid, you don't want to breathe those vapors. They can kill you. Mercury covered gold can be anywhere from a dull yellow to a brown to a snow white, just like a snowball. It depends on how long the mercury's been on there, or it could be bright shiny silver. You can kind of tell though, just scratch it. Try to scratch it on a piece of rock. If it's lead, it'll be real soft and scratch away. If it's gold, it'll be harder. Then take it home and test it in some acid. Again, don't breathe the vapors. Well, good luck to you. Maybe I'll see you out there. And if I do, I'll probably regret making this little DVD. But I'll know it's you. What I was taught here, I was taught by an old miner. He was real good to me, teach me all his secrets. So I'll pass them on.